to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sweetheart.
How can you think a man enough risking it all to fight for everything we love? Neighbors, please recall, this man has a family, this man has a life. I'm afraid there simply are no words to honor his sacrifice.
We've got another very special guest who has fulfilled another very important part of our ministry. For those that didn't read the article in the paper, Elma came from a very, very rich military heritage. Her father served 30 years in the Marines, her brother was a Marine, Elma was a Marine, her two sons were Marines. But like in any institution, you can have some bad apples. And Elma is a military sexual trauma survivor. And she's got a tremendous faith. One of the things that we do differently at the Fallen Soldiers March is that we offer something that the church abandoned years ago, and that's certified biblical counseling. When you look at the 20+ suicides occurring with our veterans every day, and including active duty military, it should be very disturbing to everybody, and everybody should be questioning, why is secular psychology failing our veterans? Why is pharmacotherapy failing our veterans? And why is the integration approach, which is a secular approach watered down with some Christian principles? So Elma enrolled in our certified biblical counseling program, and some of the feedback she's given me has just been tremendous. So I was exposed to it years ago. I recognize that the demand for service dogs will always exceed supply. There's a need of approximately 250,000 service dogs in this country between the military population and civilian populations. 3,000 make it through legitimately trained programs, and on average that costs about 30 grand. Government only provides them to our veterans if it's for sight. So if they have issues, if it's traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress, blast-induced brain injury, moral injury, paralysis, neurological challenges, moral injury, military sexual trauma, addiction, they have nowhere to turn. And like I said, on average, they cost about 30 grand. So one of the things that I recognize that we can offer immediately to begin to try to impact these 20+ daily veteran active duty military suicides is certified biblical counseling. So my pastor, former pastor, Pastor Mark Mann, has volunteered his time, and a lady that I've known who's a nurse, Teresa Stritzinger, is completing her certified biblical counseling. So Mark's overseeing that program with Elma. And this whole program came together not only because of a vision I had, but because of Pastor Mark and an elder, Charles Busby, introduced me to a guy named Captain Don Roy. Captain Don Roy flew F-14 Tomcats as a radar interceptor for 30 years. This guy had advanced military strategy degrees, did a stint in corporate America, but had such a love for the Lord, despite raising 10 kids with his wife and one with special needs, he pursued all his theological degrees and got a doctorate in certified biblical counseling. So he also is in our advisory board. Here, we're going to bring up Lori, and Trista's coming up. And now we'd like to invite the lady of the hour, Miss Elma Bunch, to please come up on stage. So Elma, it's with lots of love. And I couldn't do this without the support of this wonderful community. There's so many people that give so much to this organization, and it is my privilege and my honor to present you with Glory as a gift from this community. So thank you so much. If you want to read a few words.
All right. Get a light here. So, Service Dogs of Florida, Inc. certifies that Glory, assigned to Elma Bunch, has completed over 2,000 hours. Glory had a special extra training of another extra 800 hours of individual training as defined by the ADA to assist a disabled handler in mobility and PTSD response, and meets and conforms to the above minimum standards set forward by Service Dogs of Florida based on published standards of SDS Service Dog Schools. So it is with a warm heart. We'd love to make sure that she will help you for the next 10 years.
And so Ken will be working for the next, 7 to 10 days, making sure that Glory acclimates with Elma. Now, Elma, before we give you the mic, we've got a few other gifts from the community that come with Glory. So, Glory, this is a gift from Kinslow Veterinary Clinic. You have lifetime annual vaccinations and checkup with Glory. We also have, this is from the wife of Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association. It's called Jackie's Professional Dog, Cat, and Grooming. Whenever Glory needs to be groomed, that is a gift from them. And now there's another special lady here that's a Navy veteran. She serves as a surgical nurse for the VA. Rhonda's still here? Yep, Rhonda owns a really interesting business. So come on up, Rhonda. You want to say it? You want to come on up? Sure.
I'm a Navy veteran and work at the VA actually as a nurse practitioner for lung cancer, but on my side business I have a pet product that I invented, and I want to give this to you. And I live in Westmead, so if you need more dog products or if you have some questions, please call me, and I wish you the best with you.
Okay, Elma, would you like to say a few words? Yes.
First thing is to the Marines out there, you jarheads, happy birthday. Yesterday was our birthday, so 243 years the Marine Corps has been out there. Second thing is Merry Christmas. Oh, no, that's for me. And before you ask, I did fall in love this morning. She caught my eye the moment I saw her, and just, what can you say? Jim told you, and it's been in the paper, and I want to thank Fox News, because I sent that link out to everybody I know, and they supported it to where they know, and I got contacted the next day from someone who I knew years back, who also was raped, not in the service, but she was raped twice in 1 year, the same way I was, not the same circumstances, but even though I was raped twice, I love the Marine Corps. But the problem is that I stuffed all that down. The first time I was raped, I did turn it in. I did go to my CO. I did all the things I was supposed to do, and he let me down. He said it was a he said, she said situation, and nothing was done. So the second time, I didn't even try to report it. It was hard being a Marine back then. We didn't even have enough women Marines to grant a general, so it was pretty early on. And what I want to tell anyone out there, don't do what I do. Don't stuff 40 years worth of pain and agony. And for me, as a rape victim or survivor, I've always felt dirty. I always felt unloved on the inside. Things like this can really take a toll. And it's been rough. So this has been my birthday year, I guess, that I finally have coming out in telling people. And I want to give Teresa a shout out. Where are you, Teresa? Thank you very much. She is an awesome biblical counselor. She keeps my feet to the floor, and she makes sure I do my homework. So anyway, just thank you. I can't thank you enough, Jim, and all those on the board for Glory. She will be loved and treated well, and live a long life with me is my hope. My hope. So I guess that's, I don't know, is that it? Does anyone have any questions? Okay.
Before I want to just invite one other person up here, but one thing I want to let you all know, because a lot of us have sons and daughters here, and I ran across a report that was a real eye-opener. In May 2018, the Department of Defense completed a report, a study going back to 2003 on medical sexual trauma. The figures were stunning. I think it was around 42 to, I think it was about 4,200 women had undergone this. What was also astonishing to me was there was nearly 1,400 men that had been raped, and I was floored when I read that statistic.